So, hi everyone. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and all that it is across the globe. Welcome to the Cavli's first edition of the monthly webinar, Wireless by Designs. So, today's panel, I would like to introduce myself, Prashobh, uh, Manager Global Inside Sales, Glenn, the speaker, Senior Associate Inside Sales, and Abhinandinesh, Marketing Lead, Cavli. Going to the next slide. So today we will be just looking in this particular session about the role of the smart meters in the modern era of energy management, the key challenges faced by the IoT implementation and the smart meter deployments, and how it is overcome and the solution that can provide a seamless connectivity as well as rolling out the solution across the globe. So I just request my colleague Glenn to take over and just give a complete overview of the smart meter and the relevant topics. Thank you. Over to you, Glenn.
Thank you, Prashobh, and once again, thank you all for attending. Once again, I'm Glenn, Senior Associate here at Cavli Wireless from the Global Inside Sales team. So today we'll be looking into a bit in depth into what smart metering solutions is, how it can be deployed, the challenges, etc. So before we begin, I'd like to give you a short overview about what Cavli is. So basically, Cavli Wireless is a cellular IoT module manufacturer. We began in the year 2017. We are into the manufacturing of cellular IoT modules in all the network technologies such as 5G, LTE, and NB-IoT. So apart from the IoT hardware modules that we manufacture, we also have a connectivity and modem management platform called the Cavli Hubble. It basically lets you assess and monitor all the devices that are deployed in the field, your devices, the data it transmits, how its communication takes place, the network carriers it is connected to, all the sorts of details you'll be able to track and monitor. And over here on the slide, you can see short statistics of what Cavli has achieved over the past years. From humble beginnings to what we are now, you can see a short insight into what Cavli has grown into over the past years. Yeah, the next slide. Yeah, so this is how Cavri is praised globally right now, and the geographical presence we have. We are a US headquartered company with our headquarters in San Jose, California. We have a global R&D in India and a sub R&D team in Vietnam. Okay, the manufacturing of all the modules takes place in um, India as well. So we are the first Make in India module available globally. So now we'll begin into the topic of smart metering solutions and how the cellular IoT affects and supplements this deployment. The next slide, 1 minute. Yeah, so we'll begin the role of smart metering in energy management, modern energy management system. So smart meters can continuously collect data on energy usage, providing real-time insights and consumption insights into consumption patterns, basically. This helps the users, both consumers as well as businesses alike, to monitor the energy patterns on a daily or ongoing basis to identify peak usage hours, the energy demands, and adjusting the behavior accordingly, to meet these demands. For users, this means more precise control over their energy expenses, and which enables them to optimize their energy usage based on actual demand rather than speculations. This helps to reduce wastage and improve operational efficiency in general. Okay, and from a consumer point of view, when you look at things, this energy management translates into identifying areas where the energy is being wasted or where there's an opportunity for improvement, if you will. So both consumers and businesses can spot inefficiencies such as equipment running unnecessarily or where there is a need for energy saving upgrades. For example, if a business notices a spike in energy consumption in a specific area, if you will, they can conduct a thorough investigation and find out the underlying cause, whether it be a faulty equipment or a what outdated lighting system, maybe, yeah, something like that. So traditional meters, for example, can also lead to estimated readings and billing errors, which may cause disputes, as you might already relate to some, maybe. So smart meters, on the other hand, enables you to have enables us to have actual billing reflect actual usage rather than speculated ones. Okay? This transparency builds trust between the users as well as energy providers. Okay, and it also enables the customers to have a more control over their energy budgets. And moving into in general on a wider basis, when we look at the grid management, one of the key benefits of the smart metering would be that its ability to support the demand response programs by tracking the energy consumption in real time. The smart meters allow consumers to reduce or shift their energy usage during the peak periods, and thus helping to balance the supply and demand. This reduces the need for a more stable and sustain this increases the need for a more stable and sustainable energy grid by detecting these irregularities and in the consumption patterns and faster identification of such issues. It will in turn allow us to have a quicker response time and to power outages or equipment failures. This leads to fewer disruptions and a more reliable and better overall grid management. Okay. Now, we've talked about how this, smart metering plays a pivotal role in the modern energy management system. But now coming into the deployment or operational aspect, if you will, we all already know that there will be key challenges in all aspects. There will be certain challenges that need to be addressed before it's a fully functional or operational and efficient solution. So in this over here, we'll be looking at some of the key challenges or aspects that comes under that needs to be addressed when deploying a smart metering solution. So first of all, the connectivity. Connectivity and network reliability. So basically, we'll need to have a stable network channel for the data transmission. We should not have sort of like network coverage gaps. These are issues that arise when selecting a network channel to be used. There should not be any network coverage gaps. The network congestion, the sort of data or over, the network should not be overloaded by usage from different users. And another point would be the interference and signal degradation. The physical objects or some sort of objects can cause the a discrepancy in the transmission of the signals, leading to data being lost or not so linear transmission of the data. So that is a point that needs to be addressed. Coming into the one of the major aspects would be the data security and privacy. Yeah. So basically, it translates into a vulnerability. The data that we send might be vulnerable to cyber attacks such as data interception, hacking, tampering, etc., which can compromise the integrity of the data that we have transmitted. So, without robust encryption protocols and secure transmission methods, unauthorized access to this data that we've transmitted can lead to financial as well as risk to the personal privacy of the users as well. Okay, then addressing the small form factor challenge, what we can say is that right now we have a multitude of traditional meters deployed worldwide in the billions, if you would say. So some of this need to be retrofitted. Well, the conversion to smart meter would warrant the retrofit of the traditional meters into a smart metering, or even the deployment of new smart meters also. This would require the use of smaller form factors, making it easier for this retrofit and manufacturing process go to market as well. So once we step into this small form factor design or these sort of design constraints, there may be many sort of limitations such as performance limitations, durability issues, heat dissipation issues, or sort of stuff like that. Because as the components are reduced in size, there will be smaller memory, smaller performancing capacity. It may be susceptible to higher wear and tear. Also, these sorts of issues come into play when we make the design much smaller. Okay, and the final thing that I would like to address here is the regulatory compliance. So, a global scale of deployment, such as what the smart metering would be, it requires it requires a user or the manufacturer to meet certain standards or compliance rules across the globe. So, it might be local, it might be national, it might be international, all sorts of regulatory compliances, all sorts of nations, countries, etc., would require certain regulatory compliance laws or criteria that need to be met. So, ensuring that your solution meets all these criteria and regulations would be a real challenge in considering a global deployment or a large scale deployment of the smart metering solution. There may be regulations related to data privacy, security, standardization, billing standards, which might vary from even within a country, and also the energy market regulations, all sorts of things. So this gives you an overview of what a wide-eyed overview of what the major challenges or key challenges would be in a smart metering deployment. Now we'll focus a bit more on the detailed or a more what a focus needed sector or a segment of the challenges would be the security aspect. Uh, yeah. So, a key security concern in deploying a smart metering solution would be like we can classify this into two different segments, basically, network security as well as data security. So, network security, you can see 2 points here, but basically what I can share is that not implementing a correct or a robust encryption protocol and or an authentication protocol, making your data susceptible to data interception, or the network channel itself being vulnerable to tampering, can lead to your data being not transmitted properly, data being stolen, destroyed. It can happen. So the second point correlates with the first point in we do not currently have a real-time or a simultaneous monitoring system to ensure that no such unauthorized access is being unauthorized tampering is being done with the data or network channels. So that is an issue which we need to be addressed, which will need to be addressed before deploying a global solution. So coming into the data security aspect, again, the smart metering works on basically a firmware. So there will be a licensed and authorized firmware from the manufacturer, which basically outlines all its normal functions. So external or third party members or whatever it may be can implement or deploy malicious firmware tampering with the basic functionalities of the smart meter. So which will in turn can alter your billing patterns. You can give them access into your personal information, all sorts of things. So this sort of encroachment will need to be prevented before deploying, or you'll need to have a solution to address this issue before you deploy a smart metering solution. As a viable solution to that would be the secure boot. But the issue is that the implementation of the secure boot comes at a significant cost. So managing the overall cost effectiveness of the smart metering solution, while taking into consideration all these security risks, concerns, all that, would force a general concern, and would which need to be addressed thoroughly. So moving on, I would like to give you a short an insight into how Cavli solutions can, particularly address these issues. This is we'll go in a general point of view right now, and then we'll shift into a more security focused um, answer to the concerns. So right now, what we have here is the reliable network coverage. So Cavli's modules basically supports Cat1bis and NB-IoT network technology. So Cat1bis especially has a global coverage and a low latency, which will enable, which has enabled it to be widely adapted across the globe. So it minimizes downtime and ensures, uninterrupted performance. So basically, you have a seamless data connection network channel for the data to be transmitted on throughout your operation. The second point I would like to address is the optimized power consumption. So our modules are equipped with low power modes like the EDRX and DRX for an extended battery life. So it has, our modules come with a higher level of power efficiency, making it one like some of the most power efficient modules out in the market. This enables you to have minimal impact on the grid or power consumption in general, making it much more cost effective than other solutions that you might find. So the third point would be the versatility. So when you deploy a solution, the major issue would be like when you, especially when you deploy a global solution, the major issue would be to address, to have a stable or a general platform upon which you can build. So if you need to have such a thing, you'll need a module that supports global bands or a worldwide variant that supports all the bands across the globe. So what we have provided is such modules with the capability to have multiple SKUs. So in a single platform, you can have the option of multiple SKUs, thus making it much more cost effective and scalable in a global scale. You can have a different regional variant for different regions, and if need be for a global deployment to a single manufacturer or so, you can have a worldwide variant also if the cost is not that of an issue. But for cost effective reasons, you can go with the regional SKUs as well. So coming into the security aspect, so how Cabli's modules ensure your end-to-end security in a smart metering solution would be basically we, in terms of the network security aspect, we have an authorized and licensed network channel with the AES 256 standard encryption. So it helps you to safeguard your data and transmit in a much more secure network channel, communication channel that overall ensures your data safety. So these both aspects come work hand in hand and ensures your general security for your network channels. Now, coming into the data security aspect, we have again two more options, which two more additional features that we can offer or comes in our module, which is the advanced cipher suites. The cipher suites in general offers the secure hash algorithms, SHA. So it basically works like a digital fingerprint, like you have in your smartphones. So the sender as well as the receiver need to verify this fingerprint, and only then you will the module or the architecture determine that it is authorized message or an authentic message without it being tampered in. So this second functionality, however, would be the secure boot. The secure boot is a network again a firmware architecture, a secure boot architecture. It only authorizes the authentic or authorized firmware updates from the manufacturer. Any sort of external or third-party firmware or malicious firmware that might be deployed into your device will be stopped or blocked by the secure boot during the booting process, and thus preventing your devices from external encroachment. Yeah. And moving on, uh, based on all this, here I would like to give you an intro or an insight into the C16QS, which is our benchmark right now for the smart metering deployments across the globe. So the C16QS is basically an LTE Cat1 bis module. So as you already know, most of you already will know that the Cat1 bis is a Cat1 network technology, but it has extremely reduced power consumption or a lower power consumption, making it extremely efficient. It also comes with multiple power saving modes as well. It is based on the Qualcomm QCX216 chipset, making it extremely robust. And it also has the added options for an optional GNSS and an integrated eSIM, is making it easier to deploy worldwide. So it also comes in an extremely small form factor, thus enabling its dimensional to meet the dimensional requirements or constraints by various devices. The C16QS is an 80 command-based module, so it can be interfaced with multiple MCUs across different major MCU makes across the globe. We have been validated with them, and it offers a connection interfacing through a USB or UART interface, high-speed UART, if you will. So the core features would also include, like I said, DeForta. It is capable of DeForta, Delta firmware over the air, and a secure boot as an added option into the C16QS. Now, now we'll look into one of the major smart metering deployments from India. This is a tier one smart metering manufacturer from India, and it is their deployment is supported by our C16QS module. The major reason why they preferred us was, as highlighted, the cost effectiveness, lower power consumption, and the secure boot setup. So we'll go into a bit more detail regarding this. Yeah. So these highlights the key technical features that led to the selection of our C16QS, or what the the OEM wanted from us. So basically, it can be classified into three segments, which is the cost effectiveness. The cost effectiveness is first highlighted by our memory. So the C16QS offers 1.25 MB RAM and 4 MB of flash, making it an industrial standard as well as extremely cost effective. Then it also comes, like I said, our modules come in regional variants. So what we offered was the deployment was in India. So we offered them the Indian specific regional variant. So it comes with the bands, Indian bands, LTE bands supported. So you don't have any other bands in it. You just have the Indian variants, Indian bands. Thus making it again cost effective. So into a design point of view, what we can see is that since C16 offers an extremely small form factor, it was easier for the OEM to go into integrating into their existing devices, as well as having a shorter time to market for the newer devices. And also considering the technical aspect, which is the key feature, we have offered them in terms of security as well as normal technicalities. We have offered them specialized security encryptions, the communication protocol using TCP/IP and HTTP, and also the defaulta feature was available. So normally a FOTA would consist of around would make up a data size of around 1 to 2 MBs. Now a defaulta would be much smaller. It transforms the FOTA or converts the FOTA into smaller packets of around double-digit KBs, mostly 20, 30, 40 KBs. So it only updates the required or security patches. It comes in form of security patches where the needed sections of the firmware will only be updated, and the remaining will remain as it is. So thus making it a much efficient process, and it is done over the air, and it need not be done physically, so making it much more efficient. And the highlight point of this requirement or feature of this specific use case would be the customized SDK support. So we offered them an optimized architecture, and we hence made a customized SDK, and we enabled its support to them. Thus, they could eliminate the use of an external MCU, offering a standalone module for all the basic functionalities that they needed. This in turn reduced their BOM cost, and made it much more cost-effective solution for them as well. Now, moving on. Yeah. So I've been mentioning secure boot over the past couple of minutes. Basically here I would like to give you an idea into how our secure boot functions, or how the secure boot is implemented on our modules, especially the C16QS module. It basically works like a two-step signature verification process. So the first step would be to identify the authenticity of the incoming firmware or incoming package, whether it's from the original manufacturer or not from an external source. It validates and verifies that. Then it moves on to the uh, step or verification process, where the even though it's from the original manufacturer, only predetermined functions of the firmware would be able to be overwritten by the incoming firmware. So the external user cannot, completely overwrite. If there is an encroachment by an external user, it cannot completely overwrite the firmware if it's not already specified by the original manufacturer. So these two steps are the first verification stage. Now, coming into the third stage is sort of it's a strict access control. So if the first two stages are verified and authorized, then we can proceed. If not, what this third process does is that it is complete. The flashing of the new firmware will be completely terminated, and the old firmware remains. So that is what happens in the third stage. So it's sort of like a result of the first two stages, if you will, but it also remains a major step in this, so as to prevent external, intrusions upon this. Now, coming into the fourth and final point, which is the seamless operability. Once the all previous steps are completed and the authenticity is verified, the new firmware is being loaded, has been flashed, then the new firmware, in the final step, it overwrites the existing one and it initiates the booting process. That's how our secure boot functions in the C16QS. So I hope you had a idea, or hope you understood how it is being enabled in our module. Now, coming into the memory constraint, this is a major issue that was needed to be addressed by our technical team, because, as I've already mentioned, our C16QS only had 1.25 MB of RAM and 4 MB of flash, which is basically the industry standard. So implementing a secure boot as well as a customized SDK would prove to be difficult, as a 1.25 MB of RAM translates into an effective usage of around 1 MB. 1 MB of RAM. So 90% of this was already occupied by our stack, and the secure boot in itself needed around 180 KB of RAM to function. So what our technical team did was that they optimized the complete firmware architecture, eliminating any sort of extra allocations, and hence optimizing the complete framework. And they freed up the space required, or increased the memory capacity in general, to accommodate the SDK. The secure boot, sorry, secure boot. Now, coming into the SDK, the customized SDK as well, this translates into the situation with the ROM. So our ROM had a capacity of around 200 kilobytes, had a memory capacity of 200 kilobytes. So the customized SDK required around 256 or 268 kilobytes of memory. So again, our technical team worked tirelessly to ensure that they had developed an optimized, really optimized firmware architecture again, to have or accommodate the customized SDK into the solution, so that these both features together could make the complete operational functionality of the module much more seamless. Yeah. Now, based on all this, all the data I've given, all the information I've shared, I would like to, give you a reasonable reason as to why Cavli would be the ideal IoT connectivity partner for businesses of all sizes, if you will. So it first comes into our, dedicated service support. So we have a support portal where you will have access to our technical documentation, access to our technical team throughout the around the clock. So they'll support you directly, address your queries, concerns, all that. And apart from this, we also have a network of regional FAEs, field application engineers, who also, if need be, can offer you, direct support at your site, at your office, if needed. Now, coming into Qualcomm, uh, all Kavli's module comes with the Qualcomm baseband chipsets. Qualcomm being one of the most trusted source of baseband chipsets across the globe, they offer unparalleled performance, which tops the industry standard. It enables high-speed connectivity, efficiency, as well as robustness of the module also. So all our modules come equipped with the Qualcomm chipsets, making it suitable for deployments across a multitude of diverse use cases. And the partnerships that we have with global tier one network operators enables us to have tie-ups with over 60 plus different regional network operators, which in turn translates into offering our connectivity across 180 plus countries across the globe. Now, the final aspect I would like to address is Cavli over the past years have had associations with robust tier one OEMs and ODMs already. We've had informational exchanges, technical exchanges, etc. And this has sort of developed our expertise into identifying the requirements of the industry, of different customers, and addressing them in the most suitable way, enabling that both our customers as well as the end customers in general benefit from the association with Cavli. Now, moving on, I would like to wind up this session, this short session of mine, by giving you an idea and an overview into all the different offerings that we have in available product portfolio of Cavli, if you will. So we are into, like I've said, different network technologies such as 5G, LTE, NB-IoT, all that. And our modules can be broadly classified into five different segments. Um, Namely the low power IoT segment, where we have the Cat 1 BIS as well as NB-IoT modules. Then the smart modules, where we have the Android or Linux based SOM modules, system on board modules. And we also have the auto grade or automotive modules, where we have a mixture of actually automotive grade modules such as the AQ20, and also modules that are designed specifically to accommodate automotive related functions such as a TCU or an ECU, etc. And then we come into the general IoT modules, where we have deployments right from the Cat 1 BIS segment to Cat 1, Cat 4, 5G, all that. And moving on to the broadband also, again, same sort of deployments, same sort of modules, etc. We support FreeRTOS, ThreadX, Linux, as well as Android. So these are and a general overview and very like wide-eyed view into what our module portfolio looks like. So with that, I would like to conclude my short session, and thank you guys for your time. I would like to invite Prashok back to welcome some of your questions. Yeah, over to you, Prashok.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn, for the session. So right now we are for questions. You may just raise your hands. So we'll be happy to address your queries. Yes, Asim. Yeah.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for this wonderful webinar and a lot of useful information provided by you guys. I just have one question, and that was that I recently was looking at the Cavli portfolio, and was the only thing was that for some particular use cases, there has to be a really cost-effective module. I just wanted to ask, do you guys have uh, a module ranging, under $10 for more than, 1,000, 2,000 units or something like that? Maybe you guys can answer this better.
Okay, so we, if you like me to answer that, yes, we do have modules that can cost you like below $10 for a volume of 10 or 2,000 units. So it also depends upon the type of technology that you would like to introduce into your solution. So, for example, the Cat based module. So, as Glenn, while explaining, I might mention that it comes with multiple SKUs. So there are region-specific SKUs which can further reduce the cost of the module. And once again, there's the option of GNS, right? So we can just get a module, it's standalone, they can further reduce the cost. So we have different combinations of solutions that we can offer in that particular price point. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for this.
So any more questions? Um,
No, no, no more questions from me. Just this one.
yes, Steve is there. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Steve. Yes, you're audible. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you for this presentation. It was very informative. This is actually, I was looking for this information, and thank you for putting it together. Very, very well done. Uh,
Thank
I'm
you.
in I'm in the United States, and here our use case is in large commercial buildings, where often the metering rooms are buried within the building. And what uh, leaders for meters have leading providers have done, for example, Itron, is that they publish their consumption data over some kind of an ISM network, typically Zigbee. And they do that because the access to cell data signals isn't often available in these mechanical rooms where the meters are located. And the use case that we're interested in is being able to ingest that data and then use the Cavli hardware to report that out. Do you have any
Okay.
experience with reading smart meter data with US vendors like Itron so that we can get that into the Cavli platform?
So I understand this the pain point when you go with the underground meters where the LTE technology is not that effective because they get attenuated. So usually, like you said, like they can go with the ISM technology like Zigbees or LoRa or such technologies. So what we can do in such cases is that you can either go with any sub RF technologies, and you can have a common gateway to drive the data to the cloud. So that's one way we can just address that particular segment of applications. Or there's another option is NB-IoT, but the latest news that you come from US, right? AT&T have stopped certification for NB-IoT, so we are not sure how NB-IoT will be deployed in the future. So NB-IoT is another solution that can be used for the underground applications or the sub-basement kind of applications. So since they have very good penetration power and they can be used effectively for this kind of applications.
Well, we're very interested in that gateway use case. We have also identified that as the spot that is of the greatest opportunity for us. So if you could have someone
Right.
contact me offline, we would like to
Sure,
pursue that
sure,
with you.
sure, sure. We can do that. Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I think we have one more question raised by Ravi.
Yeah. Hey, hi. Thank you for the seminar. I had
Yes.
two questions, both regarding the development environment. And I think the module that was discussed today was C16QS, right?
Yes.
It was initially during the presentation, it was always said that this is a AT command based interface. And later, when the use case of the smart meter came up, it appeared that it had a CSDK, customized CSDK, and such things. So I'm curious to understand if Open CPU is still possible with the C16QS. And this follow-up question is, are you thinking of integrating MicroPython?
Okay. To address your very first question, yes, I would say at module level. So the C16QS is based on Qualcomm Q6216 baseband chipset, which is an M3, which comes with an M3 processor. So that is capable of having an OpenSDK can program the module. But since this was targeted for the entry level audience or entry level solution applications, so which has to come with a limited memory, so to reduce the cost on the overall solution. So that's why we had a constraint on the memory. So that's why we always mentioned it as an AT command module, because the most of the memory was occupied by our stack and the Qualcomm stack. So there was no room for any user application to be written on. So what we did for this particular customer is that we customized the memory, like what Glenn mentioned, because the stack was below 256 kilobytes. So we had some room to work on and allocate the memory for them. So that's why we built a custom SDK. It's a partial SDK where you can access a couple of GPUs and UART. So that's the basic requirement for a utility meter, for example, I can say for energy or a water meter. So this is with respect to C16QS. So we have the next the iteration of C16QS, which we have already launched. That's called a C17QS. So which has a similar features of C16QS, which also comes with the latest chipset from Qualcomm, that is QCX217. So which has got enhanced memory, like it has got around 8 MB of flash, around 2 MB of RAM. So we are providing a full SDK with that particular device. So on FreeRTOS, so you can program it, you can access all the peripherals. So these are the options what we are providing with respect to the Cat 1 based technology and addressing these use cases across the globe. So this is one another offering that we are providing. And to address regarding to the MicroPython, I need to check with the team. So the implementation side. So if it's a widely accepted like a requirement, then yes, we would like to go for a customization of the module. So that's it's up to the call from the R&D.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Prashant.
Yeah.
So before I let you off the hook, there's one more question about the accessibility of the API documentation. I mean, I would prefer to invest my time and energy procuring the development tools or bothering you people. Before I do that, I would like to do some study on my own to understand the APIs provided, kind of help me with my style of programming. I see that you're supporting all kinds of RTOSes and other things for the AutoGrade module. But if the SDK's API documentation is kind of held close to heart, there's no way I can make a conscious or a informed decision on which module to kind of utilize,
Yeah. So I understand that. So since as Glenn might have mentioned that, so we are a very young company. We began around 2017. So where we have a deployment across the globe. So we are just coming to the level that where we can have an open forum, and where we can also have this access to all the users of different segments, so different groups also. So that's what we are trying to go with. So right now we have in the expansion stage right now. So there's limitations of the technical aspects. I can see the support as well. So that's why we have a system to just get access to the customers, so that we can provide them with the better support for them. so that we can be dedicated to them. So that's the reason we are trying to have a portal for that, for support system. So we can have a dedicated technical support and get going with your development activities and take the solution to the market as quickly as possible. But we'll be addressing this in the future. So when we expand into all directions. So then it will be very easy for us to address to everyone would like to just explore Cavli and want to have a try with Cavli modules and solution that we offer.
Excellent. All the best,
Yes.
Prashu. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Ravi. Yeah. So sorry, I've got a couple of Q&A which was directed to me. I'll just addressing on the deck on the chat. So in the meantime, if you have any further questions, you can just raise. So I'll be happy to address. So I hope there is no further questions. So please, if you have any questions, you can write to us directly. You can reach out to us. So I think by end of this session, we'll be sharing the details to outreach out to us, or else you can just walk into our website and you can just drop a message like contact us. We'll be happy to come and address all your queries and support you with all your requirements. So thank you everyone for being a great audience and attending our very first edition of the wireless by design, our series of the webinars that we are going to conduct every month. So thank you everyone. Have a great day and bye. Take care.